Okay, so let's start the class. Uh, Today we have 8th class for flight mechanics, and in last class we covered everything about the types of flaps and how the aspect ratio is affecting. And now today we are going to discuss high speed airfoils, because once you are comfortable with the types of airfoils, then we can go ahead in the chapters. So now in last class we discussed about basic airfoils, and in that how we are, in the flap, how we are altering the flap. We have so many ways to alter the flaps, right? So like for example, we discussed about leading edge, we discussed about trailing edge phenomena. So we also had some light on this. If the molecules are being slowed down, then we have some techniques. By using those techniques we can increase the speed of the molecule, and these molecules will wet the more surface, and because of that we'll be getting more aerodynamic force. So now in today's class we are starting high speed airfoils, and in high speed airfoils our first topic should be like, first of all, what is high speed airfoils? In what sense low speed airfoil is different from high speed airfoil? So just a minute, I have water bubble on my screen. Not clear. So see, whenever we are discussing high speed airfoils, so you should know that airfoil, whenever you have supersonic airplanes or subsonic airplanes, but around 0.8 0.9, this kind of Mach number you have, that time our general airfoil we have to replace with the supersonic airfoils. Supersonic airfoils are mainly thin airfoils. We have two words, one is thick, one is thin, THIN. So thin airfoils. So we will not start our discussion from thin airfoils. We will start our discussion by the comparison. So if you see the comparison, so here we'll understand comparison. So actually first you should know our chapter name. So our chapter name is going to be high speed airfoils. Under this we will start our topic like this. We are going to compare our thick, medium and thin airfoils. So suppose I have CP versus Mach number curve. So one curve will go like this, another curve will go like this, another curve will go like this. So you can see here, you see this point and this point. Here we have a particular Mach number. After that your CP is increasing, and then here you have that point, after that CP is increasing, and here you have that point, after that CP is increasing. What does it mean? Understand physically. This, the first red color graph represents thick airfoil. You write thick, THIK, thick. And then you have some kind of medium airfoil. You write here medium. And for the green line you write thin airfoil, thin. Okay, now see, to understand this idea you should understand a new quantity. First time, okay. I think someone was unmute. Okay guys, you please make everyone's this setting. Whenever you guys are joining, automatically your audio will be mute. Okay, so see now, we have so I was saying that first of all, whenever we are starting this kind of discussion in which thin airfoil is involved, we should understand a particular special topic that is known as critical Mach number. So there is something called critical Mach number. So without understanding critical Mach number we cannot understand this. So critical Mach number. So let's understand what is critical Mach number. So see guys, you have an airfoil. Air flows over airfoil. So suppose if this is your Mach number 0.2, the free stream Mach number is 0.2, then imagine at this point you got your Mach number 0.6. You know that whenever flow accelerates, whenever flow reaches to the upper surface, it starts accelerating, so that's why Mach number is increasing. Okay, so this is your beginning condition. Now take a situation when you are increasing the free stream Mach number. Suppose you are making free stream Mach number 0.3. Imagine because of that, at every point you'll be having different Mach number. Suppose at this point, this Mach number became m is equal to 0.8. Okay. Again, at different points, you'll be having different Mach numbers. Suppose here m is equal to 0.3. Suppose here m is equal to 0.1. Suppose here m is equal to 0.5. Like at different points, you'll be having different Mach numbers. Okay. Now see. Again, increase the free stream Mach number. Suppose you are making Mach number 0.5. Free stream Mach number. Because of that, at this location, this particular Mach number became m is equal to 1. This Mach number became m is equal to 1. So it means what? And of course, at every point, Mach number increases. But this is the first time on the airfoil when you are achieving your Mach number 1. So, at which free stream Mach number, m is equal to 0.5 Mach number, you are getting first time Mach 1. So, this free stream Mach number is known as critical Mach number. It means what? The critical Mach number is nothing but the value of free stream Mach number, for which first time over airfoil you are getting Mach is equal to 1. That's all. So take down this sentence about critical Mach number. So you will be getting, you have to draw one small diagram. In that you have to show your free stream number, for example 0.5, and you have to show here that at this section you are getting m is equal to 1. So now write the this thing. The free stream Mach number at which Mach is equal to 1 is known as sonic flow, at which sonic flow is observed for the first time somewhere, we are not sure where, somewhere on the airfoil. And right now we are discussing about airfoil, that's why I have written airfoil, but it can be on any surface, on cylinder, on circle, anywhere. So you can write on the, in the bracket you can write surface, on the surface, is called as critical Mach number. This critical Mach number is corresponding to the pressure coefficient, is known as critical pressure coefficient. I mean, at this Mach number, whatever is your pressure coefficient, you know, pressure coefficient, we have formula for this. We have formula P minus P infinity divided by half rho V square. And we also have formula in terms of velocity, that is nothing but 1 by V local by V infinity whole square. These two formulas we have for pressure coefficient. So this pressure coefficient is known as critical pressure coefficient when your free stream Mach number becomes critical Mach number. It's called, this is nothing, it's called critical Mach number. Directly write critical Mach number. So I will erase this. You write here critical Mach number. Now see guys, if you take care of this Cp, what is your Cp? Coefficient of pressure. You know that at stagnation point, coefficient of pressure will be 1. But how will you judge this? That at the stagnation point, coefficient of pressure will be 1. Already we have discussed in previous classes, but just for the one more time, I am giving you this. So I'll change the page. Just see. I'll go back to the page, but you understand this first. Suppose this is the front area, front portion of the airfoil, and air is coming here, and air is exactly hitting at this point, and remaining air is going like this. So at this point, suppose your velocity became 0. So this point you will say as stagnation point. So at the stagnation point, your Cp is equal to 1. How will you guess your Cp is equal to 1? Very, very easy. Your Cp formula is 1 by V infinity whole square. So when your V is equal to 0, then 1 will be remaining. Okay. this is one way to judge Cp value at the stagnation point. Good evening, Prachi. Now you have one more way to judge Cp value. Okay, guys, when your velocity is 0, that time which pressure will act here? What will be the name of the pressure? Can someone guess? Static pressure. Very good. And that static pressure will be the total pressure that time, right? That is going to be total pressure. It means what? If you want to judge Cp value in different way, then P static minus P infinity, this is also static, divide by half rho v square. So see, this is our local pressure, means at this point. That is nothing but the total pressure. So you are dividing total, this is the total pressure and this is static pressure of the atmosphere. So total pressure is same in the atmosphere, total pressure is same at the destination point. So total pressure minus static pressure, if you will do, you will be getting dynamic pressure. So the ratio of dynamic with the dynamic will give you 1. Right? So in terms of pressure also you can judge the Cp value, and in terms of velocity also you can judge the Cp value. Okay, now I am going to teach very important thing. Let's go ahead.